Really, now, how did you go about crafting the look of the monsters? Because they were very original, and again, kind of taking something that was familiar and then kind
Yeah.
of twisting it, specifically like with the frog monster and the snake monster, or the snails, excuse
Yeah,
me. So
yeah.
yeah, tell us more about that process.
I love the snail. I gotta say, he's probably my favorite. I don't know why, just because he's so simple and because there's not an action sequence around him and stuff. He's just this big. He's, it reminds. It's a little bit like the Brontosaurus scene in Jurassic Park or something,
Hmm.
where it's a bit like, oh, it's just cool to see this thing and like don't get in its way and you watch
Right.
it go. And I just kind of thought a giant snail is pretty great. Um, but uh, in terms of getting the head around designing them, it took a while. You know, a lot of what I do is look at lots of other like concept artists' work and stuff. Well,
Hmm.
I'm still even before pre-production, just trying to find designs and styles and things of where people go. And I sort of I kind of created like a booklet of going, these types of creatures are really cool, but they're too, this is too fantasy. Like it's too, you know, for any reason, it might be a color thing or a design, or, you know, you could, if you had an avatar besides the jellies, but any like avatar kind of looking creatures or horses, like things that are like smooth and like
Right.
don't feel right. It's like there was a whole section of feeling too fantastical. Then there was a section where I was like, these are kind of quirky, but they're too cartoony. The eyes are maybe too big, or it's overemphasizing like the size of its mouth or something, where I think
Mhm.
it feels a bit like jokey. And then trying in the middle of that to research lots of real insects, creatures, all that, to find textures, patterns, eyes, feelings, and then sort of say, what if we take centipede and then we kind of go longer with these and we give it sharp at this and a mouth,
Right.
and kind of pull from different existing creatures. And then the concept artists themselves, I worked with someone called Andrew Baker from New Zealand, who worked on a lot of the Weta stuff and a lot with Peter Jackson. He actually did the most of the creatures are his, and finalized by him. And he was really cool at just capturing the right feel. So we'd just go back and forth, and he would sort of try different things, and then I'd say that's cool, but I think it's gone too kind of gothic or whatever it might be, and he did an amazing job. And then you go into the VFX world, and then they're trying to build them practically, and again, it's a whole nother phase where you're looking at it digitally as a 3D thing, and then those artists add their own sort of flair and ideas to thing, and then again it's the same process of thinking, oh, that's really cool, but is it too like
Right.
this or
Will
is
it
it too like
fit?
that? So yeah, my main thing was just to make sure it felt like you could touch them, that they were tangible, and then they sort of, the way they were in their environments felt like it made sense, like the frog in the pool, or that siren, the centipede creature, the way it's like in the ground and it kind of comes
Oh, yeah, that
um
got me. I was like,
yeah, it's horrible.
no.
Gross. Yeah.
That's awesome.